And here's the news.
Oh, thanks, Clark.
I keep seeing this bat signal that says Wirecast. I'm confused. Am I supposed to do something about that?
Well, go talk to Bruce about that. It's not my fault. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Haydenfilms Minutes. But before we get into the news today, I would like to remind you all that we are still hosting and being sponsored by the Haydenfilms 1.0 $10,000 screenwriting competition, which is hosted on filmfreeway.com. And there is a link that will be provided in the description below for our potential screenwriter winners to go check that out and submit your screenplays for a chance to win $10,000. And if you'd like to check out our previous episodes of the Haydenfilms Minutes or check out a nice episode of the Haydenfilms Verge, be sure to click that fancy schmancy button in the top right corner. And if you like the content that we develop here at Hayden Films, be sure to like and subscribe with the fancy buttons down below. Now, on to the news. With our first article coming out from AndroidPolice.com. Future Android phones may get 4 years of updates thanks to Google and Qualcomm. Yes, it goes delving into this article that Google announced that all of Qualcomm's future chipsets, starting with the upcoming Snapdragon 888, will support 3 Android OS updates and 4 years of security updates. In the basics of everything, that means new phones landing in 2021 will probably get an extra year of updates, assuming OEMs step up to the plate and follow suit. These chips are going to be building off of the previous achievements of the microchips that have been installed in Android OS phones that Google has laid out in previous phone generations. And with the upcoming 4 years worth of updates, that means we won't have the inevitable suffering of generation loss that happens with each phone each year, because the chips have been built into a new algorithm and technology that keeps consistent security and Android OS updates. So your phone that you will buy perhaps this Christmas shopping season will still be good 4 years down the line. I love articles like these for the fact that it keeps the people informed in regarding to what's going on with their technology. With a new phone basically coming out every year, or every half year for that matter, be it from the biggest tech companies such as Google, Android, Apple OS, and any other phone operating system, it's reassuring to know that people are now looking at the longevity to build into the quality of the microchips that are being laid out with our new Android OS phones. And that's good for me as an Android user myself, looking at perhaps a new Google Pixel coming out in a year or so. Anyways, if you'd like to go into the nitty-gritty and schematics, we'll have this link in the provided description below, so you can check out that article and learn more about what's going on with your Android phone. And that's the first question I'm going to be asking you all today. In the comments below, do you have an Android device? Do you have an Apple device? What's your preferred phone choice? And what are the reasons why for your preferred operating system when it comes to your smartphone technology? I'd love to hear your answers in the comments section below. Which brings us now into our next article, coming all the way up from the Great White North in the Toronto Star. What are the side effects? Is it safe? Doctors answer common COVID vaccine questions. That's right, in Toronto, Canada, the first batch of vaccinations target groups at risk for COVID-19 exposure and illness, and the many Canadians that have questions about the broader rollout will look in turn for their shot. Now, this article goes in depth with the doctor and pediatric immunologist regarding the COVID-19 vaccination that's been rolled out in Canada, Toronto, Canada, basically asking the fundamentals of how the vaccine works, how it was developed, is it similar to the symptoms of the influenza vaccination, and one of the main questions is, what will the person feel after the vaccine? And the immunologist goes into the basic structure of it, saying the vaccine is a little bit of a pathogen that tricks your body into thinking it's getting infected, and it generates an immune response that your body will remember if it counters the actual virus. Basically giving the foundations of what a vaccine is. It's essentially a weakened version of the COVID virus that's being put into your body so your body can create an immune response right away that can help counteract perhaps getting a real potential threat from COVID-19. And we're also trying to figure out whether this vaccine is even safe for people with certain diseases or certain anaphylactic shocks or stuff of that nature. Now, in regards to allergies and stuff like that, there is there is a containment that says in the article that says polyethylene glycol is actually in a lot of medications that is used routinely and most commonly being Tylenol. So if you're allergic to Tylenol or something along those natures, maybe do a little more research in regards to COVID-19 vaccinations coming to you or near your country. But it's currently being monitored under 44,000 trial patients to get more statistical results on the safety and the results of the COVID-19 vaccination. This article can go way more into the medical details than I am qualified for, so I'm just going to leave it at that and transition into our final article, which is regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and film festivals. From the New York Times, Sundance goes virtual with a more accessible 2021 lineup. The movies still feel like Sundance, but without the snow, the parties, and all those packed premieres, will Sundance still feel like Sundance? This article goes in depth about, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic and how a lot of film festivals had to close up shop, such as the South by Southwest Film Festival mere days before the event was supposed to even happen. They had to close up due to the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, but Sundance isn't going to let that up in 2021. They are going to adapt, overcome, and press on with their festival going fully virtual online. And going into this article even more, in regards to public health and safety, practicing social distancing, it seems to make sense of the steps that Sundance has counteracted here. In slimming down, for the 2021 program, it consists instead of 72 features, down from the usual 120, and the festival has contracted somewhat, now running from January 28th to February 3rd. While in other respects, festivals have seemed to drag out the festivals longer, but Sundance has taken the opposite direction of going shorter. Now, why is this? Well, people need that escapism, of course, that I keep talking about in previous Film Minutes articles. And Sundance condensing into a tinier schedule seems to make sense because we are now fully engulfed in the cyberspace, it seems, with all the restrictions of going outside, the practicing of social distancing. We have been bound to our computers and into the Zoom network, as I like to call it. And so we have to fit in Sundance into our schedule in order to enjoy the multitude of film festivals that are going to be laid out throughout this brief brevity of time. People are now doing a balancing act between streaming services, actual YouTube and Sundance Film Festival content, and of course, just their everyday lives regarding work and Zoom meetings and stuff of that nature. So I think it's really smart of Sundance to really take things, crack it down to the nitty-gritty of the Sundance spirit with all its film festivals in a brevity of time so people can still maintain their COVID lives while enjoying the awesomeness that is Sundance Film Festival. And I think there's no better way to conclude the articles for today other than to say, once again, this is Alec Barber from the Haydenfilms Verge, wishing you to stay healthy, stay informed, and stay safe.